Let's look at the state of these two teams last night going forward. Let me look at the Vikings at their quarterbacking position and then the Bears situation at their quarterbacking position. What would you do if you're the Vikings at that position?
Well, I mean, I think you got to keep going with Josh Dobbs. I mean, if you actually look at what he's brought to the table, he's only been there 28 days. And yes, he threw 4 interceptions, a 4-piece. I hate throwing 2 interceptions. The fact that you threw 4, listen, 2 were tipped. It happens. But, Kevin O'Connell's comments after the game were telling. We're going to evaluate the position. They're on bye week. They got Jaron Hall. They got Nick Mullins. Okay. Josh Dobbs had that magic. It looks like it's run out a little bit, and it doesn't look like he's making bad decisions. He's still learning the concepts of the offense. But I do like Nick Mullins, and I think they had Nick Mullins as a backup for a reason. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a shot to do what he does, and that's just throw for a lot of yards. You look at like the first 12 games of his career or 14 games, whatever it is, he's thrown for the most yards almost than anyone in NFL history. So he's got the talent to do it. That roster's really good. You get just Jordan Jefferson back, JJ. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They're still in a really good spot for a wild card, but we'll see what happens.
But would you keep Kirk Cousins? Like, let's look at next season.
That's difficult. That's difficult. I think that the way it's trending and what I've heard, I think that Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins have meshed pretty well together, and that they are both open to a return. Kirk will get some guaranteed contract again, and we'll all on Twitter go crazy like, oh my gosh, he just keeps getting all this money. It's insane. But I do think that
but is he going to be okay? Where does he rank, Chase? Is he good? Very good, potentially great. Give me a label for Kirk Cousins, from a quarterbacking perspective.
Yeah, I think he's very good. I think that his scheme that he runs, the receivers that they've with Jordan Addison and JJ, all of them above, he needs a good supporting cast. I don't think he's a guy that can, without a really good supporting cast around you, go out and win you ball games game after game. Okay. I do love the way he plays. He's getting older, right? That's the biggest thing.
He's 35.
But if you watch, yeah, I mean, look, dude, I'm 38. I was playing for a while too. And that's usually what time, like the middle of the career. Tom House, okay? Tom House, the guru of throwing, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, all this. He said like the best years of a quarterback's life are in his 30s. So he's still got some gas in him. But it's going to be interesting to see how it happens and what they're going to do. If that's the thing, like you got to look out there at the state of the union of the NFL and quarterbacking. It's impossible to find 32 starters that are worth their penny. So yeah. Kirk definitely is one of those. So if you're going to move on from them, you have to say to yourself, man, we have a really good plan ahead. If you want to go with a rookie, I don't know if they're going to draft really high. So it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends back up there in Minnesota.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I know that Kevin O'Connell really likes him. But it depends on how much he's going to cost, which leads me to now with Justin Fields. Right now, you can keep him because he doesn't cost you. Then he's going to cost you, and then you have to decide, is that a franchise quarterback? I'm going to make you the Bears GM right now. What are you going to do this offseason at the quarterbacking position?
Well, right now they draft 1 and 4 if the season ended today. And if the season ended today, I would absolutely say let Justin roll another year or two. I think you pass on a Caleb Williams or a Drake May. I think, in my opinion, and this is going to be a little bit of a hot take because people don't really understand it, I think he's done enough to show that he can be successful in the National Football League, given 2 things. One, they put a supporting cast around them. Okay. If you go out there and you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and you have Darnell Mooney and you have DJ Moore out there, that's a heck of a supporting cast around him. And if you actually run an offense that fits Justin, you look at last year. Let's go back to last year. Even before the Patriots game, that was the defining moment for me. They were running an under center play action scheme that they did in Green Bay with Getsy. That's not Justin Fields. When they switched over to an offense that actually used his strengths. Okay, he played really well the last part of last year. Let's look forward to this year. The first 3 games of the year, they're doing the exact same thing, and Justin's struggling. That's not him. He's not going to be the guy to say, hey, versus cover 2, work this side. Versus cover 4, work this side. Hey, man alert beaters. No, he's a pure progression shotgun quarterback, and his feet help him out. So you have to actually put him in a position to be successful. And I think that even before Justin's injury, the last like 2 or 3 games before, he started getting on a little bit of a heater, and it's continued last week, Detroit, yesterday versus Minnesota. And look, everyone's gonna be like, well, those 2 fourth quarter fumbles. Okay. I've got so many people on Twitter, Dan, saying, oh, look, well, he's done. He had 2 fourth quarter fumbles. Well, do you want your quarterback to just roll up in a ball after he fumbles the ball? Or do you want him to do exactly what Justin did, is lead him down the field for a victory? That's what I want. So in my opinion, it showed me more about who Justin is, that 2-minute drive.
All right. Should Dak Prescott be involved in the MVP conversation here? Or is it a foregone conclusion of who's going to win?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think absolutely should be, especially because if you go to my show and if you go to my YouTube show, like I break down Dak almost every week because he's playing at an unbelievable level. And a lot of people don't understand it, what he's doing. And look, Mike McCarthy got a lot of crap about when he fired Kellen Moore. I mean, let's just make sure that it was a firing. He let him go because Kellen Moore was top 5 offensive staff, game plan, whatever, in the National Football League the entire time he was in Dallas. So why did he fire him? He wanted to run the damn ball, according to Mike. Well, they haven't run the ball at all. They're throwing it more than ever. And after the 49ers game in Dak, that whole offense changed. It changed completely. And they weren't as static as anymore. They're moving the pocket. They're motioning, they're shifting, they're doing good things. And CeeDee Lamb's come on as a true number 1 receiver. And you look week in and week out. I mean, Dak's stats in the last 5 games are so telling to me. So if you're the quarterback of America's team and you're the Cowboys, you should absolutely, if you're in the playoff hunt, be in the running for the MVP, most valuable player. I think without Dak right now, the Cowboys are a 4 or 5 win team.
But Jalen Hurts is the MVP right now?
I mean, it's like Jordan in his prime, man. Like Jalen never gets too high with the high or too low with the low. I mean, you saw him after Jake Elliott nailed the 59-yarder. He was like, okay, let's go win the game. Like, I love quarterbacks like that. He's a perfect fit for Philly.
Yeah, but wait, hold on, Chase. If Jay Cutler did that, we would crush him. When he did that, we crushed him. He's like, he doesn't care. He's lethargic. I like that. Man, look at Jalen. Nothing bothers him.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's not Jay Cutler. It's Jalen Hurts, and it's Philly. And that's what Philly wants. They want people to be like, yeah, like got that swagger about them. Okay. And honestly, Jalen's been doing this on a bum knee. His knee is more hurt than a lot of people think. And the fact that he's able to still run the ball, still gut it out and play. I mean, he's becoming like a hero right now in Philly. I can't imagine if they win a Super Bowl, what they're going to do with Jalen Hurts, probably build him a statue.
Yeah. I've maintained this for years, that it doesn't seem like the Bills have an offensive strategy or game plan. It feels like their game plan is, hey, Josh, help us out here. And I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it here, but am I oversimplifying it by a lot?
Well, listen, when I talk about the Bills, the whole story is Josh Allen. And the whole story for me is the turnovers. Since 2018, he's led the NFL in turnovers, and it's not even close in second place. And that's the big issue. I didn't agree with the firing of Ken Dorsey because the issue with the Buffalo Bills offense is not the fact that they're not really good in yards or first downs or points, because they're top 10 in all of it. It's the turnovers. How are you going to put it on a coach? Okay, if your quarterback and your offense and your running backs are turning the ball over, okay? Look, I get it. McDermott had to make a move. He made a move. Joe Brady, you go back to Joe Brady and what he's been able to do. He got fired midway through the season in Carolina, if you forgot. Yeah. And then he's actually gotten the last 2 games. I thought that what he's done is he's gotten back to who Josh Allen is at its core. Josh Allen is not a let's go through 4 reads, throw it to. He's a number 1, number 2, takeoff. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're giving Josh Allen half-field reads when it's not there. he takes off. And if you look at the 2-minute drive, this was really telling. Okay. If you look at the 2-minute drive to take the lead against Philly, there were 10 plays in that drive. They went run, screen, play action, run, RPO. Like, that's what it is. To me, that's great play calling, because you're not putting it all on Josh to have to do 5 and 7-step dropbacks every play down the field. So I do think right now they're running the football at a really, really high rate, and that's going to protect Josh from himself, which sometimes he needs protecting from.